Gemma, hit that intro.
Thank you for welcoming us into your headphones. My name is Chema.
I'm Eddie.
Reviewing Frankenstein, and is the rollback. Only monsters play God. Dr. Victor Frankenstein, a brilliant but egotistical scientist, brings a creature to life in a monstrous experiment that ultimately leads to the undoing of both the creator and his tragic creation. The new movie directed by Guillermo del Toro, my close personal friend and fellow Mexican, because all Mexicans are friends of del Toro. That's how it works.
Is that a
Um,
universal rule?
what's up?
Is that a universal rule?
It's a Mexican rule. Director of classics like Mimic, Chronos, The Devil's Backbone, the Hellboy movies, Crimson Peak, Blade 2, Pacific Rim, Pan's Labyrinth, The Shape of Water, and Pinocchio from a couple years ago. He takes on the adaptation of the Mary Shelley novel Frankenstein or the modern Prometheus, with a cast that includes Oscar Isaac, Jacob Elordi, Christoph Waltz, Mia Goth one more time, Felix Kammerer, Charles Dance, David Bradley, and other colorful characters. So, can I make you feel jealous for just a moment?
Of course, sir. Of course.
I got to see this in theaters.
You
Yeah, you can't see this, but he's flipping me off right
can't see
now.
it, but I'm flicking him off.
Yeah.
Man, this felt like the kind of cinematic event I should have seen in theaters.
Yeah, so it had a very limited release. Thankfully, I do live in kind of a big city in Mexico, so there were plenty of places that were showing it.
Yeah.
No chains, only like independent theaters and like old cinema
That
locations.
explains it, because dude, this thing only
Yeah,
made what, half a mil at the box? Not even half.
yeah, but it was never about the box office. It was never
Oh,
gonna be about the box office.
no, fair. It was
Uh, and And I understand, like Del Toro, like clearly wanted this in theaters, but Netflix paid the big bucks, so Netflix is gonna have the movie now. It came out, it's now available to stream on Netflix, but I do recommend if you're gonna watch this in the biggest screen possible because Jesus Christ, this is a movie, like a
this.
film.
This man, I think it might be a cult of the new. I want to be very clear about this. I might be full of shit because I remember I really liked Pinocchio.
Yeah, you
I
really like
think,
Nightmare Alley too. I
huh?
remember you
Oh yeah,
really like
well,
Nightmare Alley
yeah.
too.
I think, God, and I really hope I'm not being hyperbolic when I say this. And I do not mean this as a cheap compliment. This might be his best film ever. Period. Ever. Period.
Okay.
I,
All
I, I
right.
I really like the Hellboy movies. I really, really enjoy them a lot. Like they're great movies. I really liked Nightmare Alley. I really, really liked Pinocchio. But I think, and maybe it's because of my age, maybe it's because of the themes of this film, but I think this might be Del Toro's best film that he's ever made. Period.
I can't believe I'm gonna say this.
You
Oh,
disagree?
we're gonna. Well, I disagree on that. I really
That's
like
fair.
this film,
Mhm.
but I might have a little bit more criticism for it than you did. But
You
how about
saw
this?
it.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with the points that you brought up there. I think this is a fantastic movie. Um, you know
I,
what? Let's just jump into the story, and
we'll
we'll pick
disperse our
as
thoughts.
we go.
So,
First of all, the Frankenstein story. This is a classic story. I think most of us have read the book.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and it's a very like important it's the first sci-fi story ever written.
yeah.
So it's extremely important. And this version, I don't think it aims to be the definitive version. It just aims to be Del Toro's version.
That's really, 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 really fucking good.
Yeah, and it takes a very simple approach by dividing the story into two halves and letting you see both sides of the story. And I think that ends up working for the structure. What were your initial thoughts? First of all, were you excited for this, or were you just like,
Not at all.
oh,
Not
really?
at all. Zero, zero. I never saw the previews. I didn't give a shit. It wasn't like I hated it. It was simply the thought of like, oh, another movie, another Frankenstein movie. Fine, I guess. And I saw it came up on Netflix, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a chance. Let me watch it. Let me try this real quick. It had me hooked in the first 5 minutes. in the first 5 minutes. Oh, the explosion in the distance, and then responding and getting Victor and Oscar Isaac saying, he's coming after me, just leave me, let me die." And this like Terminator-esque figure coming after Victor. I was like,
Mhm.
What is this? Like, this is not how I imagined the story going. I imagined a very basic, bare bones, boring story. Not because it's Del Toro. Like, by no means, I respect him. But that was not the hook I imagined. So, when you're writing an essay, right, one of the worst rules that they make, but one of the rules that they tell you is open with a hook, right? Open with a hook to keep people interested in watching your story or reading your story. In this particular case, the hook so early on, the explosion. What is that thing? I will tell you my story. Instantly, 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 I'm in. So I sat down and I watched this movie, and this might be an indictment. Oppenheimer, I watched it at 11 p.m. I remember I got out at like 2 a.m. when Oppenheimer ended.
Mhm.
I started this movie at midnight. I watched it in one sitting.
Jesus.
That is an indictment. If I like it as much as I liked Oppenheimer, that says something. That screams volumes. But what about you? What were you excited going into this? Were you expecting great things? What was your feeling?
Of course. I mean, Del Toro is one of my favorite directors. I mean, he's done classic film after classic film. I think he has a unique style. And most of all, there is a joyfulness that just gets felt up every time that you're watching one of his movies. You can tell he
Definitely.
loves what he's doing. He's got his Del Toro-isms, He
Mm.
does love his
What are
monsters.
Del Toro's? I don't think I recognize enough of them.
He loves monsters, first of all. He will always portray the monsters as like the good guy and human as the bad guy.
No, I
Yeah.
never noticed that. You're right. The Shape of Water, um, Hellboy. I never noticed that. You're right.
Yeah, even
Oh,
Blade, like he has such an empathy for the monsters, and I think that's his hook. That's what people gravitate into. Even when he steps away from that, you see something like Pan's Labyrinth, which is basically a fairy tale, you know. But there's such an empathy to that, and even something like Nightmare Alley, where there's no monster itself, but there's still
the
such a
monster
darkness and
is man.
yeah, but there's such a gothic energy that just emanating from it. And I think that's what attracts us to a Del Toro project. And the fact that everyone has such great things to say about him,
Mhm.
like I think just speaks a lot about his volume as a director because mostly what I wanted from this movie, I was not expecting like the definitive Frankenstein.
Mhm.
Like I was not. I just wanted to see his take on the story. What was he gonna focus on? And when he said, "We're gonna make this very Mexican, very Latin American," I was really curious as to what he meant by that. And turns out that what he gave us was a lot of Catholic guilt and a lot of drama between fathers and sons, which is very, very Mexican. So,
Yeah,
I, so
yeah.
I, I saw a lot of that inner workings here, and
I
I'm glad about that. Visually, I think the movie's extremely beautiful.
Oh,
Like
definitely. Who's the cinematographer for this? Fucking give them all the money. Dan Lustens? Lusten?
Dan Laustsen, yeah,
Dan Lausten. Give him all the monies.
he's been work. He was the cinematographer for all the John Wick movies, so that's.
No wonder I loved it. Give him even more of the monies.
Yeah, he's been working. He's working with the Toro. He also did Shape of Water. He's been working for a while. Yeah, he's great. I thought he was fantastic in this movie. Um,
What it
I have so here's my outline review of the movie, and I'm gonna be very direct with it. I think so. The movie, for our benefit, gets split up into two parts, which is the first kind of yeah, kind of two parts. First part is you basically see everything from the perspective of Victor, and
Mhm,
then the second part, which is all from the perspective of the creature. I
mhm.
think the first half is pitch perfect. I adored wait. I adored everything about the first half. I love the pace. I love the speed. I love Oscar Isaac as Victor Frankenstein. To me, he's the best performance in the movie. I love his intensity. I love its rawness. I love its visual style. I don't know if you know this, but the tower where they do like all the experiments,
Uh-huh.
that's a model. Like they built that like super small and then they just
Yeah.
shot it in perspective. That's awesome. Like that thing actually was made like from the ground up, and then they just shot it like a toy.
You
And
know, I'm just saying if they made a Lego of like that tower, I'd buy the shit out of that tower.
hey, any studio that's listening, if Eddie says that he would buy a Lego set, um, don't take it at face value. He will buy any Lego set. Okay,
That's a
like
lie. Fucking lie.
yeah.
I do have one though. Anyway,
But
Minecraft
but
sucks.
yeah, it did. But yeah, so that first half, with all the relationships between him, the brother, the sponsor, the brother's fiance, everything about that I thought was fantastic.
I
It
want to
had
give a
it
question.
had got yeah. Go ahead.
How good was it that we had a flashback sequence of when Victor was young and it didn't take us out of the story?
Yeah, I think it really worked. It really worked to set up everything. It really made the world look super beautiful. You know, you look at Del Toro, you want to see full luscious environment. You want to see a big fucking scary mansion. You know, you want to see all that present. So I thought that really worked. The
Definitely.
second half, where it goes into a different perspective, we start to see the creature. We start to see the creature start to learn how to walk, how to talk, how to exist, how to feel,
Mhm.
based on this family and this and this blind man, played by David Bradley, who of course we all know because he played Argus Filch in the Harry Potter movies.
Mhm. Man,
Um,
I did not catch that the first time. When I was looking up the actors, I was like, "Holy shit, Peeves!" Not Peeves. Oh, what's his name? What's his name? What's his name?
Filch.
Phil. Thank you, Phil.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh,
Uh,
I love you."
yeah, that part, and then it leads to him reuniting with Victor, and with starts to create kind of effect. To me, that is the whole section with him in the house, and like the silence and him learning how to read. To me, that's the weakest part of the movie. I'll
What?
say it.
You have no goddamn heart, Chema. What the hell's wrong with you?
I know. If anything, that's the part that should have worked with me. I'm a big fan of, big long silences, and, empathy, and trying to learn. And yet, for some reason, the pacing of the movie really takes a toll in that whole section. We
I,
start to catch up in the last like
Third,
fourth,
yeah.
but I think that's enough, I think, in my opinion, to damage a little bit of my enjoyment of the movie. I've seen this movie twice. I saw this in theaters and I saw this at home, and I felt the same way both times that I watched it. I figured a rewatch would help, but no. So I don't know if like I'm getting like TikTok brain rot or something. Like maybe it's my fault. We'll see. But that, as an outline, those are my thoughts on the movie. How about you?
Um, I didn't dislike any of it. I can't. So normally, what I like to do with movies is I will look for something that I could have fixed or done better, right? Whether it's a particular character, a particular sequence, a particular part of the story, like what could have been done better, right? What connections? How could we have tightened this up? And I see no fat. This is a lean movie. And that's because this movie's what, 2.5 hours, and it is lean. If Del Toro wanted to make this a 4 hour film and include a lot more like footage, I would have fucking taken it in a heartbeat. Yes, give me more. Give me more of Victor being a bastard. Give me more of the monster showing what a person he is. Um, so good, just so good. One of the things, damn, I'm gonna go be all over the place. Um, Opening hooked me. I cared for the crew immediately. It sucked when they were getting thrown around. I was like, "You idiots! Why are you trying to jump this guy with guns?" The plunder gas was a nice touch. I love that. Um,
Mhm.
Victor saying, "Let me tell you the story," right? And the captain being like, "All right, sure, I can listen." Rather than being like, "You're crazy. It's impossible." It's like, "Okay, tell me your story," because for some fucking reason you're out here in the South Pole. Like for some reason you're out here. So what is it? What's going on? What happened? Um. And I liked how it started off when he was young as a child. You see the close relationship he has with his mother, and like all mama's boys, he has daddy issues. Um,
I mean, that didn't help.
no, the dad was a bastard. Victor has issues because his father. It's implied almost that he didn't like him because of his like dark skin. I know he mentions that at one point. Um, but it's his father almost looks at him as a burden, right? And he's like, I will still teach you to be the best surgeon. But from not like a better word, he is abusive, right? The physical punishment for not knowing something. Um, but the favoritism is so blatant at how much he likes William more than Victor. And William dies, Victor loses his mother, but also to Victor's credit, he never blames William. He never says it out loud, my mother's dead because of you. He never says it. Um, and you see how this boy that was, not laughed at, but I guess shunned or shamed, eventually he grows to in the worst possible way, believe in himself. It's the worst version of like when you're a little kid and it's like, I want to play in the NFL someday. You'll never accomplish it. He's like, I can do it. I want to conquer death. That's impossible. I can do it. And
It's not even that he says I can do it. He says you couldn't do it.
yeah. Oh my God. I included, this is my favorite line in my review. I need to tell you this.
Yeah.
Victor's father was a better father than he was a surgeon, and he let his wife die.
Yeah.
Fuck you. That's clever. I'm really proud of that line.
No, I saw that. I saw it in your review. I was a big fan of the moment when he referred to the movie by like a certain like scenario or like a comparison, then you went like, "That's the title." Yes,
Oh,
like
meat Legos.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, you were like, "Yeah, that's the title." Hell yeah, I'm
Yeah.
so smart.
Hell yeah. I also like how, like Victor in academia, people mock him. Like they're like, "You're fucking nuts. What the hell do you mean you want to conquer death? It's an abomination." No, it's the future. And like any other good inventor, within reason, he's doubted, and he's like, "Give me the funding, and I can fucking do this." Which, sure enough, Christoph Waltz, never the harbinger of bad things, comes up and says, "Hey, I got your money for you. Let's do this, pal." And then we're introduced to Mia Goth and William. And
Yeah,
I'll tell you this right now: there was a very good false flag, and I'll talk about that later. Um, I enjoy Oscar Isaac and Mia Goth. They have good chemistry. They play off each other well, partially because their flirting is just talking. There's no like real physical like dancing and cuddling. Like they're back and forth. You can see that there is something there. But Victor at the same time, she's like, we're just talking. Like you're an asshole. Like I'm betrothed to your brother, you piece of shit.
yeah.
It's almost like a nice guy situation. It's like, but we understand each other. Your brother and me are engaged. Tone it down. But anyway,
Yeah.
he eventually gets his tower and begins to assemble his meat Lego, which, look, it looked disgusting. I will understand if people can't watch the sequence. To me, it looked like a goddamn artist in his prime. It's like in F1 when Brad Pitt flies in the car and he's like, it's rare, but you get these moments where everything is just automatic. It's almost like Ultra Instinct. You're just going with it. Victor,
Okay.
when he was assembling the body, he was just going with it. He was assembling muscles with bones that don't belong together to assemble this mecha Superman. Like I think they even called him one time. What do they call him? The Ubermensch, the Superman.
Yeah.
They refer to him as that as such. Um, and he gives him life, and in the vein, Christoph Waltz is like, put my brain inside of him. Your brain's infected. It wouldn't work. Like you'd be a problem. Oh yeah, well then I'm gonna take it away because all rich men want to do is live forever.
Yeah.
Um, and we see this beautiful sequence of this monster creature, I'm sorry, coming to life. And I couldn't help but from the moment that creature comes to life up until the end of Victor's part of the story, I couldn't help but feel bad for the creature because even though he has the body of a man, he has the brain of a child. A child! Which
Mhm.
you can. Victor was again as good of a father as his own. All he knows is how to abuse. He might be a great scientist, but he's a shit parent. Mia Goth treats the creature gently with kindness, with, hey, are you hungry? Are you cold? Here's a blanket. And what
Mhm.
happens? The creature learns her name, right? It's proof that if you're kind to a child or to this creature, he can learn. Look at what happens in the creature's part of the story, but we'll get there in a second. I love also how Victor is not, he is far from a perfect protagonist because he gets jealous and spiteful. At one point, he's like, I need to kill the creature. He blames the creature for Christoph Waltz's death, also,
Yeah.
for Herland's death. And then he decides I'm gonna burn down the whole thing because, I'm partially like, oh no, I played God, but also because he's jealous, right? At the way Mia Goth looks at this guy from Euphoria, which I mean, I'm not surprised. Bathwater. Garrett Barry Kilby. Uh, I will not drop that. But anyway, what was it? He tells the creature, just say one word and I'll let you live. And the creature says the one word that would piss him off, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. Yeah.
And Victor's like, son of a bitch. Like any good father, he tries to put his son in his place, but he goes too far and blows up the goddamn castle. Shredding his leg. He lost his leg, and rightfully so. Um, but in that moment, I couldn't help but feel one, Victor did not earn forgiveness, but also when the monster escapes, just it's so goddamn good. Because Victor is not a perfect protagonist. He is human, arguably a bad person. At the very least, he's a bad father, and I can say that. Um, so I really enjoyed the first half. So of the first half, was there any complaints that you had? And then we can jump into the better part, which is the creature story.
Okay, all right. Looks like I'm gonna have two fights today. Yeah, so
Let's go.
I like
Oh,
like I
get
mentioned,
him.
I love the first half. First of all, I didn't know until the day of that Christoph Waltz was in this movie. And I was so fucking happy when I heard because I was like, yeah, this guy always brings like gravitas and energy and fun and everything. And Mia Goth has been such a joy to watch in the past few years between things like the Suspiria remake and the Pearl Maxine X
None of
thing.
those were great.
Uh, yeah, and Infinity Pool and Emma, and she's been so fucking fun to watch, which is why it pains me to say that I think she's so underused in this movie. She plays two
Fair.
roles. She plays two roles in this movie, and I found her to be so underused. She has such a squeaky, funny way of talking, and she spoke like a normal person in this movie, and I could not
Wait,
believe what I was
she
watching.
plays Victor's mother too?
Yeah, she's a mom too.
I didn't catch that at all.
Yeah, it's great, right? Like it's so smart.
Wow. No wonder he was infatuated with her. He
Yeah,
remembers
they
my
just gave her
mother.
eyebrows. That's why we didn't recognize her at the start.
Oh my God, I did not see that.
Yeah. So yeah, so she plays two roles, and I think she's so on the besides one line where like her normal funky way of talking kind of slips through, which is the part where she's talking to the creature and the creature gives her a leaf and she goes, "A leaf for me?" Like besides that, I thought she
Oh,
was
I'm sorry. The Ubermensch just handed you a leaf. You're not gonna get excited?
no, I'm pro her getting excited, but I just thought besides that and like the scene where spoilers, but like she gets shot,
Uh-huh.
and he like the creature carries her like which is beautiful to look at. I just did not feel as connected with her. Besides like a couple of scenes where like especially the scene at the like confessional where like she kind of catches Victor and is like, ah, sly motherfucker, you think you're smarter than me. Uh, I thought she was a little underused. I thought she was gonna do more in the story, and this is an almost 3 hour long story, which is why it pains me. Elordi, who has slowly climbing up the ranks, from like boy toy to holy shit, this guy the next best thing. He's
It is not
kind
fair that
of
he's that tall and that talented. There needs to be like a cap on that.
yeah. We should really, we should do like the what's it called? The materialist operation, but like backwards. Um,
Oh God, we're
yeah,
gonna cut off his bones, you sick bastard. Who are we gonna give them to? Oscar Isaac?
sure.
I
Let's
love
balance
Moon
that
Knight.
shit out.
He's
Let's
perfect.
balance let's balance that shit out. Anyway, no, he's ever since I saw him in Euphoria, I was like, this motherfucker is so scary. I am so scared of this guy. He's the scariest man that I've ever seen in my life. He's fucking terrifying in
Lo
Euphoria.
and behold, the real monster of Euphoria is Sydney Sweeney. We can we can unpack that another episode.
Anyway, he's so scary in Euphoria to the point where like it affected my my brain. I cannot believe this guy is a good guy because like no good guy can. It's like the guy who plays Homelander. That guy cannot be a good guy in real life. Like that guy is so fucking scary that like I refuse to believe that that guy, is good in real life. Like it's something is just off. But he's been good. He's been good on stuff. He was really good in Priscilla, where he played Elvis. I think he was good in Saltburn, even though his role was kind of limited. Um, and now we have him here. He actually had to step in and replace Andrew Garfield, who was originally going to play the creature.
I'm glad.
And
I don't know if Garfield could have been this good.
I think he could have been really good, but this guy has the body for it. This guy has a build that I think really helps the physicality of the role.
Because
Um,
you can tell they stood him side by side. No offense to Oscar Isaac. Again, I'm pretty sure he could whoop my ass. He's an amazing Moon Knight. Please come back. I love you, Oscar. But he towers over Oscar Isaac. Like it's not even fair. I think he's like 8 inches taller than him. So it really lends to the creature. And the creature, he doesn't have to be bulky. He's just tall as fuck. He's the Ubermensch. Um,
yeah,
which I
and
really enjoyed.
it's so. I thought he was really good as a creature. I don't think he had any problems as a creature. I will say this, and I hate that this is a criticism for me. I don't love the design of the creature.
I feel like it was very minimalist, and I understand why you don't like it. I like it, but I understand why you might not. It's very
The
minimal.
thing is that if you see, think of the fawn in Pan's Labyrinth.
Hmm.
Think of the what's it called? The fucking pale man from Pan's Labyrinth. Think of fucking the vampires from Blade 2. Think of Hellboy.
Yeah,
Think of the characters in Hellboy. Think of how those characters look. If they told you the guy who made these is gonna make a Frankenstein movie, I don't think this is the design that you see. But then again, we are kind of spoiled by like, when you think Frankenstein, you think, oh, green,
bolt.
spolts, big head. I
So
thought I was gonna see something like that, but like a little bit more, insane. And I thought this design, yes, very minimalist. Maybe it works better in this kind of story. I wanted to see something wilder.
have you seen The Bride, the previous for it with Christian Bale?
It's not out yet.
No, no, but have you seen the trailer for it?
No, I've been kind of saving it for when I see it. I am gonna go see it, yeah.
So I'll say this: that monster does have a very similar traditional design to what you're expecting, right? Like the sewn
Yeah.
above the head stuff, right? I think that's
Yeah.
maybe what a lot of people were expecting. I will say this much. I think maybe this design was held back from being too monstrous because the point is to show that this creature is a human, right? He's a person rather than
Mhm.
it being a monster. That's not the point. He's not a monster. The monster are the people around him, or Oscar Isaac for the most part. Only monsters play God. So I think that was a strategic design. That was a strategic idea, and I agree with it. I'll say that much. I do
Yeah.
agree with it.
No, I,
Um,
I understand because we even see I love these scenes where like he goes to like battlegrounds and it's
yeah,
like that one's good. Bring that one. Like
yeah,
like this one has good legs. Or like he's at the gallows where they're gonna like hang people and before they even hang them, he's like, hey, this one has good arms. Let's skip this one.
yeah.
Yeah. I love
And
scenes
he
like that because like you
giggles.
can tell that as a medic, he's so disconnected from, everything else that he's just finds like this works. Let's do this.
Yeah. But now I want to dive into the creatures part of the story. And I understand you didn't like it, and you're right, it does slow down a lot. But I don't think a traditional three-act structure is necessarily the best way to view this film. I feel like this film is better viewed as a two-part play.
Hmm.
Um, the first part being Victor's story, the second part being the creature story, for the mostly the creature story. Him running out, like managing to survive, calling his caretaker's name, almost like an abuse victim, right? Like a child who's not loved, but you still call mom or dad when you're scared because it's so ingrained in you. Victor, help
Yeah.
me! Like essentially, like for help. And he manages to escape and get away, and he ends up in the forest. And this beautiful scene of him coming close to a deer, and the deer is almost like, "Oh, you're cool. Like, don't worry. Like, you're not one of them. You're not a monster like man." And the deer gets shot in front of him, and it's so painful. And the monsters, creatures running throughout the forest, trying to get away. He finds a cloak. He finds a house to hide in. And in the saddest thing, this orphan pretends to be a part of this family and this heart-wrenching parts where he learns to read, he learns to speak, he copies them, and come to find out that the old man of the house knew he was there the whole time. He could sense him, whether because he was blind and he could smell him, or for whatever reason he knew he was there. And this creature, because kids are pure and they're not taught to hate, this creature acts purely and helps the family, right? Helps them get the wood, helps them put up fences and stocks and kills monsters for them, like wolves and stuff. He does things out of the kindness of his heart because these people are nice. Even though they're not nice to him, he just wants to help like any child normally does. Um, and then we get this beautiful moment where he reveals himself to the old man after the family's left and the old man welcomes him with open arms. He drops the glass, and again, like an abuse victim, he like gets scared, like he's about to be hit, because Victor would hit him. And the old man says, "Don't worry, it's okay. Kindness, 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 kindness. For fuck's sake, if you're raising a kid, be kind." Um, and look what happens. He learns more in a day with this old man than he did with Victor over a month or 2 months, I think. He learned how to read. His diction is impeccable. He reads the Bible. He talks about stories of the first garden, the first man, when people got too close to the sun and tried to fly. These beautiful stories, the fundamentals of what it means to be to for a person to be literate. And he has all these beautiful moments and he decides, I need to go to the place where I came from. I need to figure out why does this name scare me? And what does it remind me of? And he goes to the tower. He finds the evidence. He sees that he's an abomination. He comes running back to his friend who's been attacked by these wolves. There's also this beautiful line where he says, "I learned while hiding in the thing, and the wolves and the dad were fighting, and the dad was shooting the wolves, that they just came into conflict because wolves need to eat. The guy needs to protect his home. They don't hate each other, but hey, you're in my way. I'm hungry. You're in my way. You're eating my livestock." And this beautiful, ugly, depressing part of what life is that unfortunately sometimes that happens. We come into conflict with one another. We're just forced to in the situation. And he gets run off after the old man with his dying breath says, "My friend." Heartbreaking sequence. My heart genuinely hurt for this guy, hurt for the creature. And he goes off to find Victor. And then we get this son of a bitch who's been sleeping for 2 goddamn months, with his prosthetic leg, and it's on the eve of his brother's wedding, which he still makes a pass at Elizabeth. Like, oh, well, I mean, we could have ended up together. Slaps him right in the face, which he fucking deserved.
That I think leads to
I'm
probably
sorry,
my
I went on
favorite.
a tangent. I just really
No,
just.
no, no, no. That's what this show is for us to go on tangents. Yeah. This leads to probably my favorite scene in the movie, which is when the creature and Victor reunite at the eve of the wedding, and the creature comes humble.
Mhm.
Like he doesn't come in with a vengeance. He doesn't come in with mad. He just comes to ask Victor for a favor.
Yeah.
Comes to ask him to make him a companion. Comes to ask him to just, hey, if you curse me with life, you curse me with never dying, can I at least not do it alone? Which is how, eventually when, your kid grows up and is like, I want a brother, that's how you're gonna see how you react then.
No, we're best friends, Ollie.
Like you don't need a brother, you have a Chema. Like
He's more like an Alfred. You said it yourself. Look, that's not what. Um.
even Bruce only had an Alfred. Like,
But no, no. I wanted to say. So this movie swerved me a bit. This could have
yeah.
been a three, maybe even a 3.5 hour film, because I thought Mia Goth was going to become the bride in this film. She's such a big name. I would not have been surprised if she died. Victor tried to bring her back for himself, selfishly, and then she ends up going with the creature. And it ends up being like, oh, he stole my bride. Okay, so this movie at the time I think still had 45 minutes. It could have been 3.5 hours. Imagine if Victor tries to bring back Mia Goth's character because William's dead. Which can we talk about William for a second? This poor, poor, poor son of a bitch. He to his wife, his fiance, he's only the third most important man. All right, it sucks, but he's third. Did you know how much that sucks? Oh man, that blows. That blows. But that's the reality of his situation. And for some reason, he was okay with it. So the creature comes to Victor humbly to say, "Give me a companion." Victor says, "Fuck that." The creature then beats the shit out of Victor. he deserved it. I'm sorry. Like some fathers deserve to get a good beating once in a while. Anyway, he beats the shit out of him. Mia Goth comes in and is like, "What the fuck?" The creature and the creature, instead of he can be eloquent now. He can be like the beautiful rose that took care of me when I was a child. Come on, man. She'd be like, "Take me with you. Take me right now." Screw William. But he
I
could have.
mean, I never saw. I mean, not that I never saw, but like weirdly enough, I never, even though they have like very, chemistry, they have a lot of chemistry, like the creature and Elizabeth.
Mhm.
I never interpret it as a romance. I interpret it as like she showed him kindness in the same way that the old blind man showing kindness, and I
See,
think that's
you're
important to for him to receive as well. It's
you're
very romantic and it's very visual to like imagine like, oh, she saw the beauty in him that no one else saw.
it's because he's pure.
Yes,
He's a man that has not been corrupted by hatred and money and war and science and pride. He is the purest of men. He is the best of us because he's a blank slate that has not been corrupted yet.
that is not a man, that is a child. So I don't want to interpret a romance between this grown woman and a child. So excuse me that my take was a little more innocent than that, okay?
No, but okay. Would you say he's a child when he returns and he has the vocabulary to
He's
talk
not a
and
he's not a
feelings?
teenager. Like
He even says he tells Victor, "Give me a companion so that I can roam this earth not
he
alone."
says a companion, not a wife. It could make him a friend. Like
Bullshit. I'm pretty sure if he had said, "All right, I'll make your friend."
look, nothing would make happier to the fandom girlies and like the book talk girlies and to the shippers of the world than
I
to
can
make
fix him.
another. Yes, I know. Nothing would no, even better, nothing would make them happier than to see this fully realized person that knows about pain and suffering but still decides to be kind. You
Yeah.
know, if we look if you look at the Zoom screens, it kind of looks like I'm pointing at you, but I'm not. Okay, like I'm doing the
I don't know what side
just
you're on.
doing.
There, both
I
sides.
don't know. No, no, you're on this side for me. So anyway,
Okay.
no, I'm gonna. No, this is a Mexican director, so I'm gonna give you the Mexican version. I'm gonna. There you go. And you don't know what this means probably, but like yeah,
So I do this to my parents, they're gonna get mad at me.
yes, do it.
Oh, I'm doing it. I gotta remember
Just be like, "Huevos, puto." Anyway,
that.
yeah, you
Okay.
go up to someone and you go like, "Huevos, puto." Anyway,
Man, imagine
back
if
to
you became
this.
a Frankenstein dog. That would have been cool.
That's Tim Burton made a whole movie about that.
Chimera. Like,
Uh,
anyway, go back.
Yeah. Anyway, back to this. That's how I interpreted their relationship. Yes, it's very beautiful. Like, oh, he carries her bridal style, and it's so sad. Oh my God. Yes, yes, it is. But I interpreted it as more innocent than that. And I'm not allergic to romance or like relationship in my movies. I'm not that guy. Believe me. If someone, I was just at a wedding on Friday, and I was crying my eyes out when I saw them like do their first dance. Like that's just the kind of guy that I am. But when it comes to this. Uh, I
Oh
do
my
think that they
gosh, he
killed
does
her.
play both. I just saw a side by side picture.
Yeah, they just gave
What
her
the
eyebrows.
fuck?
That's
The
why. That's why she
eyebrows make
looks so
such a
different.
difference.
Yeah, that's the thing with Mia Goth. Um, but anyway, back to this. Like I mentioned, I liked their interaction. I like their chemistry, and I really like what follows, which is a big chaos, big fight. They start to chase the creature. And the relationship between Victor and the creature goes from master creator to, you know what? I'm not afraid of you anymore. And this is when daddy issues really kick in, which is when you traumatize your dad back. And
I don't know if I don't know. I don't think both sons can do that, but this guy fucking did it.
yeah, so that's which something that I support. Get that tattoo, and just traumatize your dad right back. So no, I'm when this movie shifted between like gothic tragedy drama to I will hunt you until the ends of the earth, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. I will hunt your waking dreams and your waking nightmares until I get what I want, until one of us is dead. I was like, okay, I'm into it. I pulled out a cigarette. I was like, this is fucking awesome, man. Like, I'm
It's
so fucking
cinema.
in. This is cinema, man. And then the usher came in and it's like, you have to turn that off. You're in a cinema with theaters. And I was like, I know about that.
but the
Yeah.
Great Fire of
I
2025.
don't know. Del Toro wants me to do this.
Wait,
Which is why I got really hyped for that, only for the movie to end like 5 minutes later.
well, okay, can we rewind it really quick for just a moment?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Go
Can
ahead.
we talk about how William basically curses Victor with his dying breath? I
What was that
fucking
line he
love that.
says?
Like, you piece of shit, you're at everything wrong. Like, I killed mom. That wasn't on purpose. You are. I, I mean, I loved. It was that was my favorite part from William. That was my favorite line in the whole fucking movie. Was
Mhm.
when he says, "You're a piece of shit. You're a curse. You're a blight." Can you imagine your little brother, a person that you love, well, I guess love, you tried to steal his fiance, but whatever. Let's not pay attention to that part. Curses you with his last breath. My God! And then the hunt is on, and it's almost like cat and mouse, but it's more like cat and cougar, where it's like I will appear randomly and beat the shit out of you. You need to keep trying to kill me, right? One of
Yeah.
us needs to die, and it's probably gonna be you, but you give it your best shot. To a point where Victor chases him all the way to the north fucking pole, and he shoots the creature a couple times. And my thought, I'm like, it's a fucking tent. Just go behind him. There you go. Uh, seriously, I'm like, that's not a very smart plan, Victor. Like, there's not a wall behind you. It's a tent. Where go around? There it is. Okay, there you go. Got him. And I think
Yeah.
he breaks his leg and snaps one of his fingers. And Victor
Yeah.
gets the dynamite and he says, "You think this will kill me? Okay, all right.
Light it up. Yeah.
All right, light it up. If it kills me, you win. If it doesn't, I'm coming for more of your fingers."
Yeah.
All right.
I
Bah!
mean, I would also take that bet. Not gonna lie, like it's a Honda P. I would take that bet.
Ah.
Um, yeah.
And then
So
that's when we go to whole circle to the beginning of the film.
yeah, I wanted to mention because there's a recurring element in this movie, and it's kind of obvious, but I feel like I should bring it up, and that is the milk. The
Oh,
so
yeah.
as you can see, Victor is constantly drinking milk throughout the movie. Obviously, this means that there's some mommy issues still going on there. Um, there's a scene near the end when he reaches the North Pole and he has like his dogs and he has a sled, and he goes and he picks up cans of condensed milk because he needs to have his fucking milk.
Yeah.
If I was the creature, I wouldn't have broken his fingers. I would have destroyed those cans. And I would have been like, suffer, man. Like, let's keep this going. Let's keep this going. Let's dance this tango for like the rest of time. Let's see what happens.
Oh, man. This
Which
movie
is
probably took me two
why
parts, actually.
which is why it really pains me when like we reach the which by the way another parenthesis, I love the captain and the crew in this.
Hmm.
Like I love the presence that they're that much like Victor and the creature, they're also stuck in this and someone has to like give up in order to for them to like get out of the ice that they're stuck in. They're like a nice representation of like their
The
relationship.
parallels.
Yeah, a good parallel. But here's something else that is very Mexican about this movie, and is that we Mexicans are extremely noisy. We are extremely nosy. We love chisme. We love a good gossip. So the captain is listening to Victor tells the story, and then the creature comes in and he's like, he told you his version. Let me tell you mine. Immediately the captain, off screen, obviously they don't show this, but he goes like, "Oh, let me make the tea." Like, yeah. It's like, let's put out some cookies. Let's put out the cafecito. Yeah.
Hold on, I got another ball of brandy. Give me a second here.
Yeah. Just give you,
Victor.
yeah. Which is, like I mentioned, very, very Mexican in that sense. So they set that up, and finally, we have closure.
I
The
want your interpretation and then I want to come at this.
fuck. In my opinion, the movie closes out and ends a little too quickly. I think, you have these characters, you have the creature chasing Victor, and then he sees him like in his dying breath and just decides to forgive everything, forgive and forget. I can understand that, the interpretation is that, you can be mad at your dad, but the second that you see him, going through something, you kind of turn back into a kid and you can kind of let go of everything else. Like it's so hard seeing your parents struggle. It's so fucking hard. It pains you to see like anyone who's seen their parents cry knows how fucking weak that makes you feel as a kid. It makes you rethink everything wrong you've done in your life,
Hmm.
unless they've done it like enough and you're like, ah, you fucking liar. Like, unless it's that, which, hopefully it's never that.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm guessing that's why it closes out a little too quickly. Like he sees Victor, like he's on his last breath, and thinks back to himself like, I can be better. Why
Hmm.
am I doing this? Why am I doing this to the person that gave me life, that gave me this? And which is why they're able to close out the book in a tearful, wistful goodbye.
Hmm.
And because that is closed, uh, the creature also ends up helping the captain, like, gets to tear away the ship. And
And the
the
captain,
captain instead of like says instead of saying like let's go back, they're like let's go home.
yeah,
Like let's learn to let go. And the creature will live like the rest of its days, and thinking the same thing, I guess.
yeah.
Um, but that's my interpretation. What was yours?
Also, real quick, I got about 15 minutes left of battery. Just a heads up. Okay,
Yeah. That's as long as it will take. Yeah, I think.
okay. So I am of the opinion of this. And I stand by this in my real life, not just in like, fake movie world. If you're an asshole when you're alive, you're not a saint when you're on your deathbed or when you're about to die. Herschel from The Walking Dead gave a really good quote. Some men do not earn the love of their sons. Right? It's just true. The creature was essentially his son, right? He was his kid. And Victor, although he the ending is beautiful. I don't want to take away from Del Toro, right? I want to be very clear. He crafted a beautiful ending where Victor comes to terms with everything. He apologizes for his misdeeds, and he finally calls the monster. He calls the creature son, and the creature calls him, essentially dad, Victor, like what he did back when they were young, back when this whole event started, a whole fucking 6 months ago. Jesus Christ, at the age. Um, but he calls him Victor, and Victor, passes away that night, and the creature leaves, via peace. The creature finds peace. He forgives and forgets, right? Essentially, the lesson that the old man taught the creature, but the creature managed to learn it a lot faster. Um, I disagree with forgiving your abuser. I fully understand it, to each their own, but on being on your deathbed does not absolve you of the sins that you committed during your lifespan, right? You don't get that free pass. That's a personal thing for me. So even with that, I still think it's an amazing film. It does close out very quickly, but I see why, because the tragedy has happened. And we're not here to watch an action film. We're here to watch the reconciliation between a father and a son and saying, I forgive you. Like one saying, I apologize, and the other one saying, I forgive you.
Mhm.
I get it. Do I disagree with it? Yes, but I get it. I get it so much that I still love this film. I get it so much that I still really enjoyed and got like kind of choked up when the creature, I'm sorry, embraces the sunlight just like his father taught him when he was younger. And you see more and more of his skin turning pale, turning white. Like essentially he's becoming more and more human, right? It took him forgiving and whatnot to become more and more of a person. Um, I really, really enjoyed it. Still disagree, but I enjoyed it.
Mhm. I get it. I really, really liked it. I think it's a great way to experience the story, and if this gets people to read the book, then it's already a win. I think it's another victory for Del Toro. I think it's another victory round for him. Being one of the most celebrated directors working today, and it's a showcase for most of these actors to just add a great note to the resume. Like, hey, look at me. I work with Del Toro and I played this classic character and I did it great. I would submit Oscar Isaac for Best Actor. I think he does fantastic.
Jacob as
Um,
well for I think best supporting actor.
I think it would be insane if it was ignored. I think we're definitely gonna end up seeing this movie at the Oscars. It's gonna end up in a lot of people's top 10 of the year. I like it. I really, really like it. To me, this is not Del Toro's best. Like this is like I still think something like Pan's Labyrinth, something like Shape of Water, I think is still freaking incredible. Like to the point where like that's a one in a lifetime movie. Like no one person makes two of those.
Hmm.
But I love this guy. I'm always gonna be excited for whatever he does next. I think he's gonna go back to animation for his next movie, but
Hmm.
we'll see how that ends up. I give this 4 out of 5 stars. I still have a couple of things that I don't love about the movie, but man, if I could watch it, I watched this twice. I don't regret watching it twice. I would happily watch it again.
Hmm.
Yeah.
9 out of 10. This is a movie I could see myself going back to. I think if there's one flaw in this movie, it's that it should have come out on Christmas Day. I think that would have been the only way it could have been better is if it came out on Christmas Day. Granted, obviously, Stranger Things is gonna own Netflix for the next like 6 weeks or so, but
God, I am so excited to be done with Stranger Things.
yeah, man, we need to have a conversation about how long these goddamn shows take to be made. But that's what time. That's what's
Yeah.
um.
Yeah, we'll get there, yeah.
But no, I plan. I have every intention of rewatching this. I've only seen it once. I really liked it. I was glued to the TV the whole time. I have every intention of rewatching this around Christmas when I'm home, maybe with some hot chocolate, some cookies, and just watching a really good movie.
hmm Yeah, I think it'll be definitely worth it. I see this as one of the most rewatchable movies of the year, and we'll see how that goes. But that is our interpretation, that is our take of Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, which you can watch on Netflix. I want to thank you everyone for listening and for joining us this week. What are we doing next week?
One battle after another.
Fucking finally. Yeah, one battle after another, which is now available on VOD. Everyone check that out so you can be ready to talk about it with us next week. Thank you so much for joining us. My name was Chema,
I've been Eddie.
and this was the rollback. Signing off with a reminder to get a fucking vasectomy. It's worth it. And, learn a fucking lesson from this movie.
Or don't be a piece of shit dad.
Or don't be a piece of shit dad. But a lot of people can't fucking not do that. So, let's go with the safe alternative. Good night,
Well,
everyone.
one is cheap and easy. The other one tries all your patience.
And
Hey,
then
hey,
and the one that will try your patience will surprise you.
love you.
Good
Bye,
night,
everyone.
everyone.
Oh man, I
Oh
can't
God.
wait to watch this someday.